So we're just going to get started.
Melissa, can you please click on hide button? Thank you.
Sure. The screen looks like it's cut off. Is that just, okay, there we go. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining the Transfer Credit and Prior Learning Assessment Recognition Information session. My name is Melissa Hall, and I'll be presenting on the Transfer Credit portion of today's session, followed by my colleague, Ruth Skinner, who will be presenting on Plur. Thank you for joining us. Just a few housekeeping rules before we get started. First, if you have not already done so, please change your username to your first name and your student ID number. And we also want to let you know that this session is being recorded. The second thing is we do encourage you to ask questions. However, due to the limited time that we have together, we're going to ask that you write down all your questions until the end of both presentation, and then we'll open up the chat for Q&A. So let's get started. What is transfer credit? It's the process of granting credits to students for courses they have completed at another post-secondary institution or equivalent. There are different types of transfers. First, it's the advanced stand-in process, where this is for students who are seeking to transfer a block of credits. So you would typically apply for an upper semester, which is a semester higher than one, and you would submit an application through ontariocolleges.ca. And this application is processed by the admissions office. The second type is internal transfer, and this is for students who have completed a program or credits at George Brown and they're going into another George Brown program, and they want to know if their previous credits can be transferred over to the new program. Majority of the time, the transfers are done automatically, and you can confirm this by looking at your academic progress report. However, if you do have any questions, you would contact your academic department for your new program for assistance. The third one is Plur, which Ruth will elaborate further on after this presentation. But just from a high-level standpoint, it is the process where students try to receive an academic credit for knowledge and skills they've acquired through life experiences such as work or volunteering. The final type is the online application, which the remainder of this presentation will be about. And it's the course-by-course application that you would apply for through StuView. And this is where you wish to have a credit from a previous institution be applied to a credit at George Brown. So there are many benefits to transfer credit. First, if your application is approved and you accept it, you may be able to have a smaller course load. With a lighter or smaller course load, you have more time to study and focus on courses that may be more challenging. Finally, there's an opportunity for greater flexibility with your schedule. And specifically for the general elective requirements, you're able to submit an application for all your elective requirements for your program during the same application cycle. So what this means is that typically for transfer credit, when you're submitting an application, you can only apply for the core courses for that particular semester that you're registering for. So if you are registering for semester one, you would only be able to submit an application for semester one courses. With the general electives, if you're required to take, let's say, 3 electives for your program, you can submit an application for all 3 electives in semester one. And the beauty or the amazing thing about that is that if you are approved for all 3 electives, then you wouldn't have to worry about taking these courses in your future semester. So how do you get started? The application opens on the first day of online registration. So the application is currently open right now for spring. And to apply, you must be eligible to register. The deadline to submit an application is the first day of classes, so May 10th. However, if you are interested, we do encourage you to submit an application right away. To apply, we recommend that you complete the process with the following steps. So you log into StuView, you register for all your courses, and then finally you follow the on-screen instructions to complete the application process. If you're submitting an electronic transcript through Ontario colleges, you may be automatically assessed for potential transfer credit equivalencies. So this means that we have a working database of pre-approved transfer credit for public institutions across Ontario. And when we receive your electronic transcript, we assess it to see if there is a match. If it is, we display this information in two ways. First, on your offer letter, you will see it under the potential transfer credit heading. And then secondly, before you register on StuView, there is a potential transfer credit page that you access. And on this page, it displays transfer credits that you are approved for, and you have the option to then accept or deny it. So what do you need to apply? An official transcript is required, a course outline in English or French, and for most application, a minimum grade of 60%. For the official transcript, due to COVID-19 restrictions, we're not processing mail transcripts at this time. So students are encouraged to continue to request transcripts via Ontario colleges, or you can request to have your transcripts emailed directly from your issuing institution and to send that to the transfer credit or the admissions inbox. Transcripts can be emailed via secure digital platform or as a PDF. If you're submitting an application and you're using an incoming course from an international institution, a WES or ICAS evaluation report is required. And we tend to get a lot of questions about the evaluation report, so I just wanted to spend some time to talk about the specific requirements. So an evaluation report compares your academic accomplishments from your international institution to Canada's educational standard. And depending on where you completed your courses, a different document is required. So if your transcript is from a US institution, a document by document evaluation or general assessment report and an official transcript is required. And as a reminder, that transcript can be sent directly from your institution via an email or through a secure digital platform. If your transcript is from a non-US institution, then a course-by-course evaluation or a comprehensive assessment report is required. So there is a lot of information available about transfer credit. And so the remaining slides, I'm going to just highlight where you can go to find more information. First is the transfer credit main site. So this is our transfer guide. And on this site, you're able to find, a how-to video. So it goes through the transfer credit process, as well as there's a lot of links that relate to students' specific and unique situations. So if you are interested in applying, I would strongly recommend that you visit this site for more information. The second resource that I would like to highlight is our course-to-course equivalency database. And so I kind of alluded to this in a previous slide. This is where you would go to see potential transfer credits specifically for your institution. This site has a drop-down option where you can select your previous institution if it's listed, and then it would show all the different pre-approved course combinations that we have with your institution in George Brown. If you meet the minimum grade requirement and you are also within our 5-year time limitation period, the likelihood of you receiving a transfer credit is high. The third resource I would like to highlight is StuView, which many of you should already be familiar with, and this is where you would go to submit the application. Finally, we do have a very comprehensive how-to guide when it comes to the online application, and I would recommend just reviewing it to get more details on a lot of the things that I have already highlighted in this presentation. If you have any questions, please write them down. I'll be happy to answer at the end. or you can also send an email to transfercredit@georgebrown.ca. So I'm now going to turn over to Ruth, who will be presenting on Plur.
Great, thanks, Melissa. Let me just share my screen here, and if you wouldn't mind just letting me know if it works okay, that you can see. Okay.
Yep, we can see it.
Awesome. Okay, great. Welcome, everyone.
Click on the hide button.
I'm sorry. Oh, the hide. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, great. I think I'm just mindful of the subtitles. Are they working? I can't really see. Okay, I'll just move forward and hopefully it starts working, kicks in. So welcome everyone. I'm going to speak about Plur, and I'm representing the entry advising services, which I'll just chat about towards the end. So just over an overview about what is Plur and the process. Benefits if you're looking into exploring Plur, and then just common questions. So we'll just kind of unpack some common questions about Plur, and then of course at the end, if you have further questions, feel free to ask. So basically, Plur stands for Prior Learning Assessment and Recognition. So this is a process that gives students the opportunity to obtain academic credit for more than one or more courses in a certificate, diploma, or degree. So students or learners will need to demonstrate that they have acquired the necessary skills and knowledge through life experiences. And so this includes history that you may have in work, training, perhaps you have independent study, perhaps you have some valid volunteer experience, and also travel, hobbies, and family experiences as well. So how does this learning how is it acquired? So through work experience, life experience, and volunteer experience, as I've mentioned. Non-formally workplace training, perhaps conferences that are of significance, non-credit courses, or independent study. And then there's also the formal piece too. Formal education that is not fully recognized through transcripts and paper. So just to clarify very quickly, so transfer credits that's a process where you actually have documentation that illustrates that you do have these transfer credits. Plur is the other world of experience that you've gained through life and work. And just perhaps some non-credit training that you've received over the years. So Plur is not an exemption. It's not a way to repeat failed courses or make up an exam or a way to skip a course. The cost for a Plur fee, this is for 2020-2021, which of course is our academic year right now, so it is subject to change, but right now it's close to $116. If you're looking at doing a part-time study, which is called continuing education, so those are our evening classes, part-time study, you would just pay for the Plur fee as opposed to the course fee. And this is actually could save some money because some of the courses part-time can be a little bit more expensive. So just without getting into too much of this this table, just for time's sake, I just want to kind of break down. This kind of gives an overview between the differences, as Melissa was outlining about the transfer credit process. So in terms of the evaluation process, with Plur, we're looking at the actual learning outcomes, and not, of course, because you don't actually have the educational credentials in paper form or digital form right now. Assessment is an evaluation of your learning and understanding. The role of the assessor, and usually it's a faculty member, a person who has expertise in these areas, is to measure the nature, extent, and currency of learning. And so your role is to demonstrate that learning, and this kind of plays out in various ways. Let's say that it was a a portfolio-driven area, then you would be doing this through describing your learning, articulating your outcomes, and having supporting documents that are not necessarily academic documents. Sometimes it's a challenge exam that's either, of course, everything's written online right now, or an oral presentation as well. So of course, just what Melissa was talking about with the transcript. Of course, with transfer credits, the exemption is a waiver of obligation to complete a course on the basis of previous educational credit. Whereas with Plur, it's a recognition of achievement. So the grade is assigned based on that evaluation. And this is key. Failures from Plur are not recorded on your transcript, okay? So the role of the applicant, of course, is to demonstrate that learning, and I just mentioned through portfolio or the challenge exam. So what courses are Plur eligible, which is a really good question that we're asked quite often. So most courses are eligible unless the academic division, so it's usually, it is up to the academic division to examine their curriculum and see whether it is possible to Plur these courses. Most of them are eligible unless they're identified as being non-Plur eligible. Who is eligible for Plur? All students who have acquired learning and developed skills through formal or informal training or life experience. And then who assesses the Plur? Each department processes their own Plur, so academic division, okay, as they are subject matter experts. And then except for the communication courses, so that would be college English courses, and that's through Plur, the Plur office. So why Plur? So what I would say is I've been advising for many years at the college, and I feel that what's really beneficial is that some people, sometimes quite often I have clients who just really don't account for their previous education and work experience. So non-formal education, as I've mentioned, which you don't actually receive that credit, but you do actually study in a certain way that you could put towards Pluring a course. And of course your work experience too, perhaps you've been working 20 years in the financial sector, and you do actually have a wealth of knowledge. So it's really good to really examine that. The other piece is that it can save you some time. So, of course, it would lighten up your course load, just like as Melissa was talking about with course exemptions or transfer credits. And then also, qualifications and credentials that are achieved. Quite often we have internationally educated professionals that have had life and work experiences. And it's just validating your experiences and translating that to Canadian credentials, also through professional standards or employment expectations. So of course the benefits are being able to demonstrate knowledge, clarify employment and educational goals, avoid duplicate training, validate learning from work or life experiences, gain academic credits, occupational certification or professional licensure, and of course earn promotion within the workplace. The deadline to apply for Plur is usually 3 months prior to the commencement of the course. What is the method of assessment? So as I mentioned, sometimes it's a challenge exam, a portfolio, or a combination of both. It is determined by the academic faculty. So what happens if you do the Plur and you're not satisfied with the results? So a Plur grade is a pass, and that is that's on your transcript. If the applicant passed the Plur assessment but is not satisfied with the grade achieved, they do not have the option to continue to attend the class that term. Okay, so you'd have to wait and do it the next term to upgrade the mark. In the future, if they decide to upgrade their mark, they can re-register for the course at an additional fee. And failed Plur courses, as I've mentioned earlier, are not recorded on your transcript. So are Plural Assessments harder than taking the course? Not necessarily. They're actually evaluated on par with the course. So I would say that they're you know, you're expected to demonstrate on a balanced method that you know, you have a full understanding of what is entailed in the course. So it's an equivalent assessment. Assessors are required to provide evidence of the assessment along with the final grade. So it's actually a very methodical, balanced system with Plur. And you know, you can be ensured that it is a fair process. The Plur office receives the Plur package from the student, ensures that it is complete, and provides it to the academic division for review. The academic division will review and provide final assessment and decision back to the Plur office. And the Plur office works with registration to enter the grade into the student information system. And so if you've got any further questions, please reach out to Plur. Here's our contact information. And also, I'm just going to open it up to questions, but I'll just mention entry advising here as well. We're on the website. It's actually located under Apply. So we do mostly advising for prospective students, but we also do see current students from time to time as well. So if you're interested, best way to contact us is actually by making an appointment on our intake form, and we have regular appointments on a regular basis right now. So thank you very much. I'm just going to, oops, okay, thank you.
Yeah, the chat. Hello, everyone. The chat is open now. So if you have questions on transfer credit of Plur, you can post them. If you have questions after this session, you can send us email to the transfer credit office or to the Plur office. Okay, I will provide the Plur office email. Oh, the first question, will you send the recording to us? First, this session should be captioned, and then most likely it will be posted on the Student Live YouTube channel. If you have questions before this session is posted, send us emails. Okay, we do not have questions so far. Still, we can wait for 1 minute. Oh, Peter just responded that this session can be shared. Thank you, Peter. Oh, we have another question. If a course from another post-secondary institution is not listed on the equivalencies database, so I still send a transfer application. For example, I took communications in university, and I would like to apply to use it towards college English.
Yes. So if you don't see the course in the course-to-course equivalency database, you're still able to submit an application. The academic evaluator will review your transcript along with your course outline to determine the equivalency. So the database is more of a guide of combinations that have already been pre-approved, but that doesn't mean that if it's not there, that your application won't be approved and that it won't be equivalent. Sure. So I was saying that the database, it's a guide for pre-approved potential transfer credit, but it doesn't cover everything. So if you don't see the combination there, we encourage you to still submit an application, and it will be assessed, and if eligible, approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, no more questions. Thank you, Peter.
Sure, go ahead. It looks like Muna, hope I'm saying that right, may have another question.
Yeah, we can wait for a minute, maybe via typing. Do I have to contact the other post-secondary institution for my transcript, or does GBC contact them to receive my transcript?
So if you've submitted your official transcript during the admissions process, then we should have that on file, and you may not need to request another transcript. If we don't have your transcript, then you will need to contact with your institution to get that information. If we don't have your transcript, you will receive communication from us letting you know that this document is missing, and the information also outlines the different steps that you can take to submit your transcripts to us as well. No problem.
Okay, thank you everyone for attending this session. If you have, still we have one more. Okay. How will an undergraduate level triple major course be evaluated? For example, in my case, I had majored in psychology, English, and economics. Will I have to choose only one of the subjects to apply for a credit transcript? Transfer credit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Melissa, can you?
Yeah, for sure. So there's three different types of application. There's the 1-to-1, 1-to-2, and then the 2-to-1. So 1-to-1 is you're using one incoming course to match one George Brown credit. And the 2-to-1 is you're using two incoming cores to match one George Brown credit. And the 1-to-2 is you're using one incoming course. So it could be a full length, for example, psychology course, and you think that it may be equivalent to two George Brown electives. So the decision is really up to the academic evaluator to take a look at the credit levels of your incoming course and how it matches or is equivalent to George Brown. It may be more of a longer explanation. So if you want, feel free to email transfercredit@George Brown. I'll be happy to answer in greater detail there. I'm not sure if that answers your question. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Melissa.
No
And
problem.
thank you everyone for attending this session. Yeah, if you still have some questions after this session, just send us email We'll be happy to assist you. And have a nice day, everyone.
Thanks very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, take care.